So, you're looking to play Destiny 2 when it goes free to play in a few days. Maybe you're a console player looking to transition over to PC, or maybe you already got a PC but you haven't touched D2 since you made the transition. Well, first of all, welcome back, and good to have you. But secondly, there's some things you need to know. Now, full disclosure, I just jumped onto the PC train recently, so the scope of advice that I can give is pretty limited to folks that are just getting back into the game, but have at least experienced it before on console. With that said, if you're down with that, I've got a few words of wisdom from my first few hours of getting acclimated. Tip number 1.
Play on the settings you want to be used to, you buffoon!
This is a big one for folks who haven't touched PC yet. You're going to be incredibly tempted to play with a controller, you're going to be distracted by all the bells and whistles of frame rates, quality settings, HUD settings, and keybinds. Do yourself a favor, get it all out of your system early. You want to know what ambient inclusion and anti-aliasing is? Well, try it out. Maybe ramp up all the shadows and light rays because you're a little bit of a visco girl on the inside. No shame. Do you want to see what it's like to play Destiny 2 on a Game Boy? Weird flex, but okay. There's a lot more knobs on PC than there are on any console, and I found that it's best to play with them all now. The experience between the two is worlds apart. Nothing is gonna feel the same, even if you try your damnedest to force them to. That's why I recommend that you find out what looks and works best for you and the machine you're gonna be using. Now, game developers do one hell of a job tailoring one experience for millions of people at a time on console. Being able to adjust everything to your liking is probably something you've thought about only in passing. I know that was the case for me anyways. Spend a lot of time on this, because you're going to be spending quite a few hours looking at this world, and any little change you make down the line is going to impact your experience dramatically, leading to even more time lost trying to readjust, and when Shadowkeep launches, you're not going to want to waste any time fiddling with your buttons. And that leads me to my next point. Tip number 2. Commit to your input method, Guardian. This one runs deep with my last tip, and it's going to take some good old trial and error. I think it's best if I use myself as a guinea pig to show you what I mean. Here's some gameplay of me playing on console. Now, for a console player, I like to dip in and out. I'm more passive than I am aggressive, and I don't focus as much on my gameplay as I do on my abilities, my cooldowns, and my perks. If I have anything, literally anything, with firmly planted on it, I'm gonna be sliding around like sausages on a hot skillet. With that being said, it was a big question for me whether I was gonna stay on controller or make the switch to MNK. Luckily, my controller doesn't work on PC, so MNK it was. I went out and bought myself one of these. It's called the Hori Tac. It's made by the same folks that made my controller, so I figured I was enough of a brand loyal fanboy that I might as well pick one up. If I was actually gonna be serious about being an MNK user, that is. The one thing that I didn't realize about switching over to PC is that going from an analog stick to using a bunch of buttons really messes with your movement. All your muscle memory goes out the window. Your mind is going to be screaming at you in every engagement that you get into, and your fingers are going to forget which way is up and which way is back for west. That's a big reason why I picked this. You don't have to, and maybe you'll be better off with a keyboard. Well, whatever you end up choosing, stick to it. Reassigning actions from one finger to another takes time and practice. There's no shame in going back and forth between platforms in order to check and make sure your sanity is still intact. Yes, you probably can hit those shots, but odds are your fingers were trying to tango when you really needed them to break dance. On top of that, the metas are completely different on each platform. That's why you want to get used to your character and how you move first. There'll be a lot of chances for you to go dumpster diving in your vault. Trust me. Once you figure out how to slap someone in the face while you're under fire, you can move on to our next tip. Tip number 3. Try everything. There's more than a handful of websites out there that will tell you what to use and what not to use. I place a lot of my faith in websites that have hard data from Bungie's API. That's why I use Destiny Tracker. In any given season, at any given point in time, sites like Destiny Tracker will tell you what the easiest, breeziest, cheesiest methods are to make your numbers look as presentable as possible. Now there's no shame in using One-Eyed Mask as bottom tree striker with ace of spades, and that garbage mind benders that you forgot you had was collecting dust, and weird hive gunk at the bottom of your phone. Whip it out and get used to playing again.
Shotgun? No. Oh, I should have gotten that. Oh, yeah, super. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, please don't. No, please don't. No, why is this like this? Why is this like this? He's not even playing. No. Don't look.
At this point, you've probably adjusted your FOV and the reticle placement on your screen. Those things are going to have a pretty big impact on how everything feels. And if you're using a mouse, well, welcome to a new age, my friend. Snipers barely flinch. Shotguns weigh about as much as an AirPod does. And the recoil, well, recoil is but a distant memory to you now. With that being said, you're not who you were on console anymore. You're on PC. And here on PC, everyone is allergic to missing their shots. So don't let them shoot you while your hands do that weird Stephen Hawking thing. Play lame until you don't have to. It's gonna feel real weird and a little bit scummy, but it all comes with the territory. It's only temporary, trust me. Tip number 4.
Everyone's faster than you.
Now, you'll probably feel this firsthand after you've been surprise sniped from an obscure angle on a map that you've played a million times. First of all, hello, welcome to PC. Again. And secondly, always overestimate the competition. If a hallway looks scary, you might want to wait for someone else to go first. Radar lighting up and you don't hear anything, better start backpedaling. Think that red flashlight didn't see you accidentally jump? They definitely saw you jump. Everyone saw you jump, and they're waiting for you to jump again, so don't jump again. Push uncontested lanes. Run away if you get hit first. Hug the walls. Try a different angle. And for God's sakes, stop hugging your teammates out! You're giving away their position, and if you're still throwing grenades when you meant to reload, they're probably not gonna like all the damn noise you're making. You're probably wondering how you're supposed to get better when you feel like you're barely playing, but let me level with you. Do you think that surgeons hop right into someone's chest on their first day out of med school? Hell no. They shadow people, they work the weird hours, they do the long-ass paperwork and wonder to themselves, how did I get here? Being lost means you aren't where you were when you first started. But it also means you're not where you quite want to be. It means you're moving, and moving means learning. Relish in this feeling, because this is a period in time where you're going to experience the most rapid development in your gameplay. Now, if you need to switch back and forth between console and PC, do it. Do it as often as you need to. I did it a couple of times. Okay, more than a couple times. But pretty soon, console is going to feel old, slow, and choppy. If your PC is worth its weight, that is. Look, I'm not here to tell you that everything is going to be hunky-dory when you make the switch, but PC Destiny is hands down the best way to experience the game. All the worlds feel more vibrant. The plays are more explosive. All the guns that you had for just in case, and might be meta, might just actually be everything you wanted them to be on PC. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna feel super foreign and frustrating at first. Also, the meta on PC is a bit more limiting than it is on console. But you gotta remember, Bungie's had a long, rich history of making amazing console experiences. They've only had about 2 years to get PC just right, and we're not quite there yet, to be honest. At the very least, you can always hit the sticks and bring your new bag of tricks with you. With that all being said, I hope anything I talked about helps you in your transition to PC. I'll probably revisit this idea somewhere down the line after putting in more hours, but for now I'm having a ton of fun, just tripping over my own feet and occasionally having a good game. It's been a pleasure sharing what I've learned so far with you. If you have any questions or suggestions for things you'd like me to cover, feel free to find me on Twitter @ReginLad or Instagram @ReginLadTheKidYT. Or if anything, just hit the comment section and let me know what's up. Maybe even hit the subscribe button and check out my other videos on here. I've got a bunch of past streams and lightly edited gameplay videos on the channel, so If you want to see more of me and some of the dumb stuff that I do, well, you know where to find me. But of course, that's all in the periphery of things that don't matter. What matters is that you chose to spend a few minutes of your day with me, and I really appreciate that. So whether it's your 5th video or first minute with me, I appreciate your time. And as always, may my scrubbery lead to your victory. Have a good one, folks.